Hello there, everyone. Let me get this going on Facebook. Live on Facebook. Okay. Let's see here. Groups. Oh. Okay. Hi, Helene. All right. I think we're good. I think we're on Facebook. I think we are everywhere. Okay. So yeah, hi everyone. What am I doing? I'm so confused. Doing 3 things at once and it's not serving me at all. Nor can I find my video on Facebook now. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Everywhere. There we go. Okay, I'm Sarah, founder of the Sisters Enchanted, where it's our mission to make magic mainstream. We are chatting over these last few days, next few days, about magical healing for 2019. So for anybody who's just finding these, the reason we're talking about this is that 2019 numerologically is a 3-year, which is causing lots of buzz. Hi, Christina. It's causing lots of buzz because 3 is a number of, it's a joyful number. It's a number of leadership. And when we are feeling joyful and fulfilled and supported and all that good stuff, we can be the best leaders in our lives that we can be, which will in turn help other people to have amazing lives and be the best leaders for their lives they can be. So in order to experience joy, though, at its fullest, there is usually something that needs to be healed, which is why 2019 is such a great year, because we will be primed to feel joyful, primed to be happy. And when we can heal these things that are getting in the way of us really feeling joyful, remaining joyful, and bringing light into our lives, then that's when we're going to see great progress. So 2019, like I said, is totally primed for this. Hey, Nola. Okay, so today we're talking about movement. So far we've talked about journaling and meditation, and today we're talking movement, and tomorrow we are talking intentional creation. So movement is a very, very healing sort of tool, and as women that are kind of bogged down with lots of responsibilities and muggle tasks, I like to call them, we tend to lose joy in moving our bodies. Like we tend to forget that there's so much joy that can come from that experience. And because we're so busy doing other things, we don't feel great about our bodies. Maybe we don't feel super pretty, or we feel like just icky or tired. And the movement piece for us is actually really important because of that, but it's like we all back burner it. Hi, Amanda. Nice to see you. So we're going to talk about movement for healing today. So movement can be anything from literally just like moving your body, stretching out, doing some yoga, some intentional stretching, like maybe looking up with your neck instead of looking down at your cell phone, looking upwards to the sky. It can be dancing, to yoga. Movement can also be physically moving your body in a specific space. So like moving your body clockwise in an area, like to turn on more positive energy, or if you want to move energy out and release energy, moving counterclockwise in a specific area. all of those are different ways that we can move our bodies. So it doesn't have to be like this, you know, fancy pants yoga practice or like rocking out and dancing in your kitchen, although it can certainly be that. And I think that's all amazing. I totally recommend it. It can be more like low key and intentional, where perhaps you are working on healing unconditional love for yourself. Maybe you're like, okay, I want to love myself no matter what. I want to be able to feel guilt-free. I want to relax and love myself. And so maybe for you, that's like just opening up your chest center. That's where your heart chakra is, your heart center. So maybe for you, movement is just intentionally, like a few times a day, taking a deep breath to open up your chest. Like put your arms back and feel open in your heart chakra area. Maybe it's your throat chakra. This goes to this heads down in your phone thing again. Your throat chakra. You can't be heard, you can't hear other people, we can't communicate to our own higher selves fully when this is all gunked up. And if we're just staring down at a cell phone all day or a laptop or whatever, you know, we're not expanding this. So maybe it's that intentional expansion of your neck, like move it side to side, you know, look side to side, really open up and receive this area and receive in this area. So this intentional movement, right? For women, your sacral chakra, which is right in your hip area, your uterus area, moving that area, like, you know, shaking your booty, twirling those hips around is amazing. It's like super amazing way to open up your energy in that area, get energy flowing, and sort of make you feel good too at the same time. So movement can be healing movement. It can be like I said, as small as these small intentional movements to as big as like big yoga practices. I gave the example the other day of a woman that I know who has a boxing practice, and she's a very small woman. She's like 4'8". She has this very small voice actually, and she always lacked confidence because of her small voice, and she felt like that whenever, you know, people would call her home, and she's a grown woman, people would call her house and be like, oh, can I talk to the adult or whatever? And she'd be like, oh, that's me. But she sounds like a little kid. So she had a really hard time she's a business owner. She had a hard time kind of being confident and selling to people. And now she does public speaking. But the movement of boxing, that kind of aggressive sort of movement really gave her a lot of confidence and totally changed her life. So movement, it doesn't have to be this idea of like goddesses in flowing dresses, which it can be. It can be whatever works for you to heal what needs to be healed within you. And I think that it's the most important thing is to choose the thing that works for you. Because when we listen to people and they're like, you need to do this, you need to do this, and this is the movement you need to do, you know, it's going to be specific to you in your case and what energies are sort of floating around you, not necessarily whatever is working for that person or like whatever they've dug up from a book or whatever. So Jessie says, I dance in my kitchen and starting back with Kundalini yoga as well. Enjoyed the wellness exercise type class. Love it. Anybody who's looking for Kundalini yoga stuff, Valinda Coachella, she goes by Valinda Yoga. She's here in our group. She is the Kundalini, like she's been doing it for, I don't know, like 20 some odd years or something. And she actually has her master's degree in dance therapy as well. So she's the real deal. And she's a Facebook group that's super supportive. And she has tag teamed with me to teach a class before too. She was a guest teacher in our chakra class earlier this year. So I highly recommend you check out Valinda if you are interested in Kundalini yoga. So Kundalini yoga, I'm not a Kundalini yoga teacher, but I'll tell you what Valinda tells people. She says that is chakra yoga. So the yoga we're used to, hatha yoga, movement-based yoga, that's very Western. And it's still very valid and useful and important. Sorry, I need a different chair. I need like a pillow or something. It's still very valid and important and useful. And I love it. It gets my body moving and flowing and it's amazing. Yoga with Cassandra, I recommend her. She's on YouTube if you want some of that movement-based yoga. But Kundalini yoga is really, that's the ancient sort of practice of working with your energy centers and And that's where we see, that comes from the Bhagavad Gita, which is an ancient Indian text. I studied it actually in college. I took an Indian literature class, which little did I know then would come back to serve me in my spiritual journey many years later. But that's Kundalini Yoga. So it's really like, it's about holding postures and breath work. And the movements can be so super healing. So definitely check out Belinda if you're interested in that. Let's see here. Hi, Alicia. So Jesse says, helped with my bulging discs and damaged sciatica. Yeah, Kundalini is great too for people who do have physical, like if you're having physical pains or something. And there's always, Belinda always gives modifications, and there are, it's, you know, you can sit and do it. You don't have to be like standing and moving. So yeah. Hi, Tammy. So movement is extremely healing, and it can look like anything at all, from Kundalini yoga to Hatha yoga to just intentional movements. A really good one that people don't think about is this space right between your third eye, right? How much tension you hold in this space here. And I never thought of it myself, but I was in this hypnobirthing class to try to have a natural first childbirth. And that woman like took us through like the normal loosening your jaw and everything. Then she was like, and right here in your third eye, loosen that space. And it occurred to me how much tension we hold there. But so and while you can't even really see that movement, you know, like I'm trying to see it, just that taking the deep breath and the intentional movement of relaxing that area can be so very healing on the amount of tension that you're keeping in this upper area of your body, which is your spiritual connectedness. It's your connectedness to your future self, your past self, all that is, like where you're hearing and receiving messages. So all of these little intentional movements can be very healing and very helpful as you move forward on your amazing journey of joy in 2019. Of course, we have things like yoga, and if you do work with the chakra system, the energy bodies, we started talking about opening and expanding all of these different areas. Actually dancing, you know, just like letting loose and dancing in your kitchen is really amazing for expanding your whole body, your whole energetic being, and just getting really funky with it, like getting like down and up and stretching and moving in all different ways, and even listening to different songs, different types of music in accordance to whatever it is that you are trying to heal or work on. So if you're trying to be heard, maybe you want some really loud music that you like, you know, belt out to, or you're yelling or something, I don't know, like some heavy metal, some really like kind of music for that throat chakra and being heard and being confident in being heard. Where maybe you want to heal your ability to nurture yourself and love yourself and be calm and gentle with yourself. Maybe you want like some more like slow swaying type music that you kind of find yourself like hugging, you know, doing the little hug dance, and you're like, oh, I love me, I support me. So you can really tune into that energy, like with that whole experience, and create a real experience around it. So Desi says, tuned in, the first thing I hear is just get funky with it. Perfect timing. Perfect time to enter this discussion. Yvonne, Grey's Anatomy taught me to dance it out. Yes, Grey's Anatomy is full of good lessons. Helene says, dance like no one's watching. Yes, do it. You won't regret it. Kalina says, I keep so much tension in my jaw. I actually had someone tell me it's okay not to smile and let things relax. Yes, I realized that I do the same. I keep lots and lots of tension in my jaw because I'm always smiling and I'm always talking. And then when I'm done talking, I'm always like, let it out. Carrie, dance is so healing. I don't do enough anymore with former ballet and modern dancer. Modern dancing is so healing, right? And like contemporary, especially when you play with movement and angles and like the music and how that portrays to the viewer. So when you're doing something like that, movement as an art is amazing because you're not only healing yourself through that movement, you're healing people who are watching you. So any dancers out there in the crowd, and formerly Carrie. That's such an amazing healing technique. So Philippa is a pole dance student and instructor. Yeah, instructor. One of our other community members, Jen, she likes to tell us about her pole dancing classes. And there's a thread going in the group right now about sex magic. And earlier this year in one of our classes, we had a guest teacher on sex magic. And what it ended up being more was I asked questions from the group, like what they wanted to know from her. And what most of the questions were ended up being more about like confidence, body positivity, feeling sexy and confident more than like the sex magic itself. And she talked a lot about this, like doing things for you that make you feel that like sexy, right? And so it doesn't have to be like for somebody else, but what does that heal in you? Maybe you don't feel confident. Maybe you don't feel sexy. So like Jen loves to talk about her pole dancing class, and she like loves to go there and do that. And so Philippa, yeah, it can be really like healing in a lot of different ways, like taking your sexuality as a thing that's yours, especially for women who've had an experience where somebody else like, you know, made their sexuality very much theirs and they didn't have a lot of control over it, or like felt like they didn't have control over it. And so that kind of movement, any movement can be so healing when we do it intentionally, right? Anything can be healing when we do it intentionally. So the thing I asked you to identify the first day, the little baby step that you were going to do to create that domino effect, that ripple effect in 2019 around healing, like what's that little thing that you want to work on? And then what movement practice can you incorporate to like jumpstart that, push it forward and get it going, you know? So yeah, so Christina's a little nuts. I choreograph dances while I'm driving. Love it. Carrie says, yes, catharsis. Yeah, movement is so powerful. Like I can't say that enough, how powerful movement is. Even like just going outside and like raising your hands to the sun on a dark, dreary, hard day, that's movement, you know, like that can be so powerful. Moving, and then we can look at the extensions of ourselves. So our energy, it's like spider webs. It's attaching to things all the time. So any like negative person or positive person that like you encounter during the day, the junk in your house, the clutter, the like crap you haven't touched in 6 months, like whatever, your energy, it's like sticking out at everything. And when we can sometimes moving those things, like moving our physical relationship to those things. So either moving the objects, getting rid of the objects, moving ourselves in relation to them. Like I said, moving in our rooms in a certain way can help us with healing and moving energy in a similar way. So we can kind of look at our energy extensions as well and say, okay, well, how can I move my energy in this space? Or how can I move things so that my energy can flow better in this space? So we can look at movement of our own bodies and as an extension of the environments that we live in as well. If you live in a house that's, and like, this is my situation currently, and 240 of our Sisters Enchanted mugs delivered the other day, and I have a small house. There's nowhere to walk in here right now. So like, what can we do to move things so that there's a better path for energy to flow in this house, and in turn, all of us are going to flow better and we're going to move better. So you can look at your own energy, your own body in movement, and then like, what's all the extensions to that in your house as well. So Christina says, dance can make you feel sexy. The movement and interpretation of the words with your body is very intimate. Yes, yes. Anybody like struggling with confidence, just like that little bit of dance by yourself, even in like even if you do it with the lights off, not in front of a mirror, like we talked about this with Luna Dietrich is her name. She's the Pussy Witch on Instagram. That's one of the things we talked about, was that just feeling good in our bodies can be so hard for women. And so the little act of just like, maybe in the dark, maybe it's like in the shower where no one can see you or you can't see you, like whatever, just that little act of like moving your hips and swaying a little bit can do so much to just get energy flowing through your body in a different way. And that little act, that little intentional movement might just be that little thing that gives you just a tiny bit more confidence to conquer whatever it is that comes your way during the day. Yes, Yvonne, there are mugs. We've got mugs up the wazoo over here. Jesse says, we need to clear the stagnant energies in the house. It's been a grim 4 months. My sage bottle's lid keeps popping. Hubby says it's time to clean and smudge. Yeah, do it. Hi, Summer. Watching from work. Gotta love it. So yeah, so people have shared that you guys love to dance. We have a pole dancer watching in the crowd, which is an amazing healing experience for sure. Kundalini yoga people are trying. So, and movement outdoors, like moving and walking amongst nature, moving in nature. Sometimes the act of climbing to a higher place. So like, I don't know, like mountain climbing seems extreme, but I know the like 2 times that I've climbed a mountain, it was, I think I was so exhausted that I couldn't think of emotional healing, but getting to a higher place where you're like, you can see out more, see a bigger picture. That active movement, moving your physical location, can help you to see your life from a different perspective, maybe see what you're doing, your experiences from a different perspective. So that's movement that you can do, actually moving your physical body up to see like a bigger picture of what's happening around you. Carrie drives my family nuts by rearranging the living room furniture all the time, and it does help get energy moving. Yeah, you got to move under furniture. I like to say that energy it's like dust or cobwebs. It just festers. So if you have a stack of bills you haven't touched in 3 months, or you have like boxes hiding in a corner or whatever, energy just sits, just like loves that shit. It just sits there, it hangs out there, it dwells, it multiplies till like, 10 years from now you look and you're like, is that a potato chip or a dead mouse? I have no idea. Like, that's what your energy is doing. And so we really need to move, clear it out, keep things moving, keep things fresh. So it's more than just physical cleaning. It's like moving that stagnant energy. So Renee says, hiking is my fave. Yeah, I love hiking. I'm not like the most physically fit person though. So I climbed a mountain twice, one a smaller one, so it wasn't really a big feat, but I climbed Mount Washington here in the northeastern corner of the US a couple of years ago. And I was not prepared for it. And it's not even that hard of a mountain to climb. People climb it all the time and in like 2 hours flat. And it took me like most of a day. And I was like, this is wretched. But yeah, it does like really, like you see things from a different perspective when you're up that high for sure. And you just see everything out there and you're like, there is so much more to life and so much more to what I'm experiencing than what I'm just experiencing in the day to day. So get up there and change your perspective. Kalina says, doing a figure 8 with your hips, even just walking through the store. It's not something others will notice per se, but it changes your body movement. It can make you feel sexy. Yes, exactly. Those like little sachets that change your energy in the way that you're feeling. I've been talking a lot lately about the sacral chakra, which is in that sort of uterus area. And we tend to think of energy like sort of, coming like earthly energy, that's kind of at our root chakra, or higher spiritual energy coming into our crown chakra. And then we have our heart center, our unconditional love place, which is the bridge. And, we have to unconditionally love our others. So we can unconditionally love or love ourselves. So we can unconditionally love others. And like that a lot of energy comes from here. But I've been thinking a lot recently about the sacral chakra area, and this is your passion and your desire. And as women, if we're not feeling joyful, we're not feeling passionate, we're not desiring our own lives, we're not desiring the people in our lives, we don't feel desired. And it can be just passion in terms of like what you love to do. It doesn't have to look like other people. Like, what are you passionate about? What are you joyful in doing? And if we don't feel that, we're not unconditionally loving ourselves. So rather than focusing on like the heart chakra as this kind of source of love and, and being, focus on the sacral chakra as this place of joy, in which 2019, we've been talking about joy in 2019, right? And creating joy and having that three-legged stool. When we have things in balance, that's when they're integrated and we have a solid three-legged stool to stand on, and we can be the best versions of ourselves in 2019. So that's that hip area for sure. Get that moving, and allow yourself to create more space, create bandwidth to be clear on what will bring you joy and invite that stuff in. So let's see here. Happy Sunday, Colleen. Jesse says, dog walks for us, but I'm not a fan of ice, and one of our dogs cannot go as long in the winter. He's a pit bull mastiff mix. We have long walks, nature, off-road trails. Love that. Tammy wants to know if the government shutdown will affect state-run parks. On New Year's Day, there's a 2-hour walk at a park close to my home. That's a good question. I have no idea. I think where I live, our state parks are, but it's cold here. I don't know where you live in the U.S., but you can still get into our state parks here. We just drove through one yesterday, so I don't know. I think you can. Helene says it has in the past. With the state steps in, they may stay open. Yeah, ours have been open, but where I live, they're all like beach centered anyway, and they're all closed for the year technically. Like, so there's nobody taking money, so you just would drive in regardless. So that could be why like we wouldn't notice here. Like if it was summertime, maybe we would notice, but here in the winter, they're all like technically closed anyway. There's nobody taking money or anything, so you would just go in. So I don't know. I don't know. Colleen says, as long as we connect from the inside out and feel right, balanced and blended wholly allows it to flow easier and smoother. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you for joining us, Colleen. Christina says, missing so much of that in my life. This group has helped me gain a lot of that back. I can feel the dance coming back. Yes, we should have a virtual dance party. I could lead it. This is what happens. I get these ideas, and then I'll be like, virtual dance party, and nobody else will show up and dance. It'll just be me dancing, and I'll feel like a big loser. Tammy, the 70s in Florida. It's like 35 degrees here. Cold, unpleasant. All right, so your task today, the printable that I emailed out was just some ideas for different kinds of movement and to choose one and do it. Choose one and do it. Carrie says, yes. No problem, Colleen. Summer says, having a large fibroid tumor grow had sucked the passion and life out of you. I didn't realize it was affecting the chakra that coincides with the uterus and female reproductive organs, passion, motivation, and such. I had no idea. Well, you know, always things to think about, always new stuff uncovering, coming to the surface for us, right? Yeah, so anyway, so I'm going to put a thread in the group and you guys can share what movement you're doing. And yeah, remember we're going to pick a few participants to, I have, they're still under my desk, I can't reach them. I have two, they say like, I forget what they say, You Are Magical or something, I don't know, but they're 2019 date books that I picked up, and I will pick a couple prize winners and we'll mail those out to you. So you want to participate in the threads so you can be entered for one of those. Dance, 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 dance. Natasha says, I'm drinking coffee from my sister's enchanted mug. I am double fisting. I have cold coffee over here, and I have cold tea over here. Cold tea, cold coffee. I need something warm. So you've been here too long. The new ones, anybody who's waiting for those, we're going to ship them out. We're starting to pack them up tonight. They, I always order them with no cork ring on the bottom because they come off in the dishwasher. And so I said no cork ring because I want to be able to dishwash them, as do most people who will buy them. And they put cork on them, but we washed ours in the dishwasher and it like just popped off. It just makes the glue come off. So anyway, anybody who ordered one, might be like, oh, hey, this is new. Well, if you put it in the dishwasher, it'll come off. But we didn't have them on the old ones. So it's not, you know, you're used to not having it. That was just something they did, even though I told them not to do it. They were really behind and they shipped my order like 2 weeks late. And so I think they were just like, trying to get them out the door. Probably didn't pay attention. They are available to order, Yvonne. If you search in the group, just search the term mug in there's like a whole thread that will show up with pictures of the different options and the link to the site. It should be pretty close to the top of ones that show up. So yeah. All right, so that's it for today. Tomorrow we're going to talk about intentional creation on New Year's Eve. And then on New Year's Day, we will reconvene for the last time and go forth and be merry on your 2019 healing. So super excited. We do have the 3-month class, Healing Like a Witch, starts January 6th. If anybody wants to join us for that, the link was in your email today. And we have little bonus packages for people who want to sign up for that going out. A mushroom hot cacao mix, a sticker, and a little pocket stone too. So check that out. Yeah, Alicia, the cork probably is why they were late, and I told them I didn't want the cork. Actually, I called them on like the 20th or something, and they were firing them that day or glazing them or something. I don't know what the term is. They were doing something to them. So yeah, and then they took the extra time to put the cork on that I asked them not to do to begin with, but whatever. Thanks for joining us, Crystal. Anyway, all right, I'm going to pop the thread in the group for movement, and I will see you guys tomorrow. I'll email out the time, not sure what time. Oh, Gwen's asking right now what time. Let me think. Tomorrow is a Monday. It's New Year's Eve. We're going to do the morning again since it's New Year's Eve. Like 10 a.m. Let's say 10 a.m. I'm going to write it down before I forget. 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, and I'll email that out also. All right, yes, off to dance, people. Disperse and dance. All right, I'll see you guys in the group. Thanks for hanging with me. Bye.